Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a casual conversation. We're going to speak with each of these artists to understand a little bit of their practice leading up to what their project at the residency is about. Um, I'm familiar with two of their practices, and I was really happy to discover Mayuri's practice over here. And for the three of you, I like to think of this moment in time when you have agency over your own narrative. As you grow in your artistic career, people will write about you, about your art, and they may not be in your own words. So today, I want you to take the time to tell us about the person behind the public that we see, um, and of course, own your own story. So this is a time-bound thing, which means that we're going to spend 15 minutes with each of you. I'm going to ask you a few questions that will help everyone here understand your practice, and we'll share a couple of your works to also take us along that journey, right? And examine significant moments in your practice that led up to where you are right now. Mayur, I want to start with you. Now, through a variety of mediums, which includes text, poetry, video work, your work emphasizes breaking free from the societal conditioning of women. And after speaking to you, I know that this is a response that comes from a lived experience. So I want you to tell us a little bit more about this, where you grew up and how you got into art.
Hello. Uh, Thank you so much to be here, everyone. So I don't want to speak in detail about my education. Already Priya briefly explained everything. So I'm from Goa. So I come from carpenter family. So I started my journey when I was in school. So my teachers push me and support me with my I was having a good drawing. So they introduced me to the college, फाइन आर्ट कॉलेज ऐसे ऐसे कॉलेज है आप जाओ करके सो देन आई गॉट टू नो कि ऐसा भी कॉलेज होता है सो आई अप्लाइड टू दैट सो एंड आई डिड बैचलर आफ्टर दैट आई wanted to go further for master but one of my family member stopped me to do that because आप लड़की हो आगे इतना नहीं पढ़ना चाहिए आपको एंड ऑल्सो बट व्हाट आई डिड सो अप्लाई किया बिना पूछे और मुझे कल जाना है तो आज मैं उनको बोला कि हाँ मुझे जाना है सो फॉर फर्दर स्टडी सो लाइक घर में बवाल मच गए सो और नहीं किसी ने सपोर्ट नहीं किया वी वर लिविंग अ जॉइंट फैमिली तो नहीं चलो हो गया जो कुछ हो गया आई बोरोड मनी फ्रॉम माय पेरेंट्स एंड कुछ फैमिली से भी लिया तो और मैं स्कॉलरशिप लेके मेरे कॉलेज में मास्टर्स के लिए हैदराबाद गई सो आफ्टर दैट व्हाट आई नोटिस माय टीचर सो आई डिड मास्टर इन पोर्ट्रेचर सो उसके बाद मैं पेंटिंग में अप्लाई किया दैट टाइम वन ऑफ माय टीचर stop me stop me to doing that portraiture thing so उन्होंने बोला कुछ अलग experiment करो so I experimented with different colors and apply few color on my body and took a impression of that so
That was a pivotal moment,
yeah
right, when your practice changed.
yes
And I think we do have an image of that which we'd like to share. Um, so I know that at this point in time is when you were experimenting with this body of work, is when your practice dramatically changed, right? So what was it about this particular work, and what was the reaction that
yeah
changed the course of your practice?
these are the images which I done during my masters तो जब मैंने वो डिस्प्ले किया था मेरे कॉलेज में तो आई गॉट अ रिएक्शन फ्रॉम माय कलीग्स माय फ्रेंड्स स्पेशली द फीमेल फ्रेंड्स दे शेम मी फॉर दिस कि आप अपने काम में न्यूड्स नहीं दिखा सकते इट्स अ वल्गर एंड ऑल्सो और गेज गेज ऑफ बॉयज लाइक ए तेरी बॉडी है क्या लाइक लाइक दिस ना यू नो द मेंटेलिटी तो वो चीज़ें हुई, तो देन आई स्टार्टेड टू क्वेश्चन वाई सो आई एम नॉट ओनली फॉर प्लेजर। सो ये भी चीज़ें मैंने तो ये काम किया, तो जो जैसे प्रिंट लिया तो अलग से टेक्सचर मुझे दिखे, वो दिखे। तो आई थिंक दिस trigger me a lot. So then I started to questioning the everything. Even I took a survey of my, I used to stay in the हॉस्टल। तो वहाँ पे मैंने मेरे फ्रेंड्स से उनसे सर्वे उनसे लिया कि कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछे कि वाई यू फील लाइक दिस। और हम हॉस्टल में रह रहे थे, तो बहुत पीरियड्स के कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स होते थे। तो वो लोग हेजिटेट हो जाते थे मैं मुझे आंसर करना। बाद में मैंने एक उस पे पोयम लिखी कि ओ वुमन आई एम योर वजाना। या दिस इज द पोयम दैट आई रोट, ओ वुमन आई एम योर वजाना, व्हाई यू आर शेमिंग ऑफ मी, और आई हैव गुड शेप, कलर, स्मेल, वैसे। सो एंड दिस थिंग स्टार्टेड मी, एवरीथिंग स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम देयर। और मेरे कामों में स्टेटमेंट आने लगे, पोएम्स आने लगे, क्वेश्चंस आने लगे, और दैट्स इट।
So you were the first girl in your family to pursue a higher education. And did that change your family or community's perception of women and the future that they can have? Do you see your art bringing change in your own community and in your own family?
या आई थिंक येस, अभी तो है, क्योंकि दैट टाइम आई वॉज नॉट सपोर्टेड बाय माई फैमिली। सो आई गो आउट, और मैंने पहले मेरा परसेप्शन चेंज किया। सो मैं अलग से जब मैं बाहर निकली, तब व्हाट आई सॉ, आई इंट्रोड्यूस, मतलब डॉक्टर बी आर आम्बेडकर कौन है, उनसे वो इंट्रोड्यूस हो गए मुझे। डॉक्टर सावित्रीबाई, सावित्रीबाई फुले, उनसे वो कौन है, कैसी है, वो क्या किया था उन्होंने, वो मुझे समझ में आया। आई थिंक मैं पहले बदल गई, और वो चीज़ें मेरी फैमिली को भी बदलने में कोशिश की। मुझे नहीं बोलना है कि पूरी तरह से बदल गए, बिकॉज व्हाट आई राइट करंटली मैं जो एक्सपीरियंस कर रही हूँ, जैसे आई डन, मैंने इंटरकास्ट किया है, इंटरकास्ट मैरिज किया है। तो अभी जो हमारे समाज में और ट्रेडिशन है, जो एक ही कास्ट में पैदा होते होते एक ही कास्ट से ही शादी करना है। सो वी स्टिल प्रैक्टिसिंग एट माय होम। तो मैं अभी घर नहीं जाती, बिकॉज मैं एक लोअर कास्ट लड़के से शादी किए। हिज प्रभाकर, ही इज़ अ गुड क्यूरेटर एंड हाँ आर्टिस्ट। सो वी वर नॉट अलाउड टू कम टू माई होम। इवन मैं भी, वो बोलते हैं कि आप भी अभी बांट गए, मतलब अब इम्प्योर हो गए उससे शादी करके। सो these are the realities I always speak through my work. So, mhm.
These are all of your practices which have been.
Yeah, in the I have story behind this. Like in Mumbai में क्या था कि one of the bigger museum, so वहाँ पे मुझे रिजेक्ट किया, बिकॉज आई वॉज हैविंग अ न्यूड एंड ड्राइंग्स इन माई वर्क। तो आप यहाँ पे न्यूड नहीं दिखा सकते, ऐसे बोला गया मुझे। सो देन आई स्टार्टेड टू क्वेश्चनिंग थ्रू माई वर्क, लाइक ऐसे क्यों मिनिएचर्स में हर तरह की न्यूड्स दिखाते हैं, वो अलाव है, लेकिन मैं जो काम करते हैं वो अलाव नहीं है। सो यू नो, सो एंड दीज आई टॉक अबाउट द वुमन पॉलिटिक्स। तो हमारे घर में क्या होता है कि एक औरत है, तो औरत को कैसे दिखा जाता है, सो शी ऑलवेज ट्रीट एज अ ऑब्जेक्ट। तो यहाँ पे मैंने स्टेटमेंट लिखा है, जो औरत घर तक ही सीमित है। सो वुमन स्पीयर इज अ होम इज अ वुमन स्पीयर। सो वी लाइक एक घर, औरत को एक दायरे में रखा, बॉक्स में रखा जाता है कि आप औरत मतलब यही करना चाहिए, ऐसे ही चलना चाहिए, और उसका काम है सिर्फ बच्चे संभालो, घर पे बैठो और खाना बना लो। यही स्टेट में मैं बहुत अलग अलग लैंग्वेज में कन्वर्ट करके उसको स्टिच किया है.
So, all of this inquiry has led you to also do a lot of research based work, right? Like the work that you have shown at the India Art Fair. I know that you went and interviewed a lot of people and a lot of women specifically. And again, it talks about the sort of hidden labor that women contribute to, which we do not see and acknowledge. I wanted to understand, why did you choose? So we see labor and women in the labor field in a lot of different industries, but I wanted to understand why you chose the specific location that you chose, and to tell us how this project started and how it came into the residency.
Currently, we shifted our studio to Kolhapur. It's a hometown of Prabhakar. So, and what I saw in around, जैसे कि बहुत सारे labor, especially the women, like with like bricks laborers है, और जैसे शुगर केन लेबर्स. तो मैंने बहुत सारे नोटिस किया, तो मुझे लगा कि समथिंग इज डिफरेंट. जो मैं देखती हूँ मेरे एरिया में, मेरे जगह पे, those women are totally different, and what I'm watching, they are totally different. So then I started to realizing, yeah. और वो लोग ऐसे हैं जो माइग्रेट करते हैं 6 महीने के लिए, एक गांव से दूसरे गांव माइग्रेट करते हैं, और 6 महीने टेंट बना के रहते हैं, और दे यूज एलिमेंट लाइक साड़ी एंड टैपलिन अपने घर बनवाने के लिए. हाँ हाँ, प्लास्टिक तो. और दे हैविंग अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम, लाइक उनकी 12 साल में ही शादी हो जाती है, एंड 22 साल तक दे लाइक 2-3 बच्चे हो जाते हैं उनके. आफ्टर दैट दे आर हैविंग मैनी प्रॉब्लम बिकॉज ऑफ लैक ऑफ वाटर और अनहाइजेनिक प्लेस इन एंड अराउंड. और इसलिए उनको इमेच्योर मोनोपॉज भी हो जाता है, और some kind of infection in their body, like in stomach and also. और उनको एडवाइस दिया जाता है कि रिमूव देयर यूट्रसेस, यू नो. तो और 22 साल 25 साल में ही उनका यूट्रस रिमूव किया जाता है. सो और मतलब उनका क्या है कि दे आर पेड लाइक दो कोयता, दे कॉल कोयता, मतलब एक औरत और एक हस्बैंड वाइफ. हाँ, उनके हिसाब से उनको पे किया जाए. अगर एक भी सिक हो, मतलब बीमार पड़ गए, तो उनका पैसा कट हो जाता है. और वुमेन्स आर पेड लेसर देन मैन, यू नो. तो वो भी वहाँ पे होता है. और इसी वजह से उनको फोर्सफुली बोला जाता है कि रिमूव योर यूट्रसेस, क्योंकि वो ब्लीडिंग ज़्यादा होने, हर इमेच्योर मोनोपॉज मतलब बहुत ब्लीडिंग हर दिन होती है. तो यूट्रस रिमूव होने से वो प्रॉब्लम ही सॉल्व ना, तो पूरा दिन वो खेतों में काम कर सकते हैं. और वो मॉर्निंग को 3 बजे उठते हैं, और 7 बजे तक घर भी आ जाते हैं. और नो जो पीरियड्स के टाइम में दे यूज क्लॉथ, सो नो सैनिटरी नैपकिन एंड ऑल, कुछ नहीं होता है.
And no access to sanitary
Yeah,
spaces
even
as
no.
well. So, tell us a little now about the interviews that you conducted, and also how did that project come here to this space, to India Art Fair? It was part of the residency, but
Yeah.
how did it tie into that?
So when they offer me the resume, that time I was working on the same project, like on their life. तो मुझे लगा कि इट्स अ गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी. तो जो क्वेश्चन है अभी तक हमारे देश में, जो एक सर्टन क्राउड को नहीं पता है, और दे लाइक हम मेरे बूथ पे बहुत सारे लोग भी आ रहे हैं, अभी तक ये चल रहा है. दे आर क्वेश्चनिंग मी लाइक, यार सीरियसली ऐसा होता है? तो आप झूठ बोल रहे, पहले होता होगा ऐसे. तो दैट द थिंग, मुझे जो रियलिटी है अभी, कुछ रियलिटी है अभी, जो चीज़ें हो रही है मुझे अभी तक हो रही है. वी से लाइक वी बिकम अ मॉडर्नाइज, यू नो. तो मुझे लगता है ये चीज़ें सबके सामने आना ज़रूरी है, और क्वेश्चन करना, और 2 लोग भी उसके बारे में बोले और कुछ तो हो जाए, तो मुझे लगता है अच्छा है.
So we're going to see a little bit of the film, which is where this project has culminated to. The entire film is at the institutional section, where Mayuri has a presentation of her entire work. So if you want to see the film, please go and see it there. And right now we'll just see a few clips from that. So Mayuri, while this starts to play, you mentioned that when you moved to Kolhapur and you saw these women, their situation was different.
पासष्ट पडले होते 12वीला पण अर्धेच
You
होतं.
grew up surrounded by. In what way did it feel? Like what?
माझं स्वप्न लग्न होईल पोलीस बनायचंच होतं पण हे काही असं झालंय.
What are?
आता वय माझं 22 वय चालू. हा वेळ गेली नाही पण शिजर झालंय ना. काही करता येत नाही. दोन शिजर असल्यामुळे त्यात काहीच जमत नाही.
There are many dreams.
मेडिकल
बहुत सारे मैंने जब इंटरव्यूज लिए कि बहुत सारे ऑलरेडी दे आर नॉट एजुकेटेड, स्कूल भी नहीं देखा था,
काम
उनका
करता येत
पैदा भी वो
उचलता येत
खेतों में हुए सब चीजें. इवन तब मैंने हम लोग जब हमें कुछ चाहिए होता है तो आप इजीली हम लोग माँ बाप को बोल देते
माझं
हैं
स्वप्न मी
और
मुलातच
वो हमारी जरूरतें पूरी हो जाती है. यहाँ पे उनको
नाही
चाहिए
झालं
वो कुछ
तर मला
नहीं
2 मुलं
मिलता,
आहेत.
उनके खुद माँ बाप को भी नहीं मिलता. सो आई थिंक
विचारायचं काही
रियलिटी
नाही
मतलब वो
इच्छा पूर्ण
पूरा
नको म्हणलं काही
हम लोग
करता येत नाही ना.
पर एटलीस्ट हम लोग बोल सकते हैं और हम क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं जो है, लेकिन वो क्वेश्चन भी किसी को नहीं कर
सर्व
सकते.
कुटुंबासाठी
So they sacrifice their whole body to their family and everything. Like पूरा पैदा भी होते हैं खेतों में और मरते भी है वहाँ पे. So
काही मुलाला शिवर
इसलिए मुझे लग रहा है कि they are living a
दिसायला
different.
जरी वाकडा असला तरी साखर कशी असते ऊसापासून
Okay.
बनलेली साखर गोड असते.
So
तसं मनुष्य
just take a
दिसायला
look
जरी
at
साधा
the
असला
film.
भोळा असला भोळ्या
And
माणसाला
as I
कोणाला
said,
कधी
you can
समजायचं
watch the
नाही.
entire
कोणाला कधी कमी
presentation
लेखायचं
at Mayuri's booth,
प्रत्येक
which is in
माणसाला
the
या माझ्या
institutional.
ताब्यात जा वाटत नाही. आपल्याला मला वाटतं का नाही, पण वेळेनुसार त्याचं बोलावून आल्यावर जावं लागतं का नाही. काम करायची आम्हाला इच्छा नाही खरं, पण काही वेळेनुसार काही ह्याच्यानुसार परिस्थितीनुसार हे काम करावं लागतंय. आणि पहाटे 3ला उठून 2ला उठून शेतात जायचं.
I never focus on their problems, but I focuses on like how they are living their life. They tie their whole घर कैसे बनाते हैं. So the everything like see. So preserve कैसे करते हैं.
So it's more a documentation of their life than a commentary on their
Yeah.
life. Right.
And this is all structure they are making.
Where do you see
I don't-
this continue? How do you see this project continue? Does it end over here or?
I'm researching a lot on this. This is a work. Yeah, it's a work in progress because I'm having a enough less time to show, so that's why मैंने थोड़ा सा ही 15 मिनट की फिल्म है. So yeah.
Thank you. And I'm sure the audience will have questions for you after this.
घरमध्ये ना एवढं काम करायला मी समजा समजायचं नाही हा म्हणजे 50-60 वर्षाचं पैसे मार हा जनाती बसता तोडी तू पपाई कारखाना मला भी तमने ना हा नाईट साहेब हाते रसू 500 रुपया टण्याची तोड रे जना जनाती मग काम करते यारी इसापूर धरण हा इसापूर धरणे निकळतो नाईट साहेब हाते रो जनाती काम करते आई मोठो छ इसापूर धरण हमार हा दिवरक ऐकून एवढी तो आपण ऐकू थोडी आजारी वेगळी करत आणि मी तर माय वाढ कोण मार घर वावरचं शेतीचं सारी वाटे आणायचं बाप 4 परिवार आहेत मागूच हा खाली एकच भेटणार पकर काम पांढर काय करा म्हणजे काय
Um, so we're now going to move on to our next artist in residence, who I have also had the pleasure of knowing from before. Thamshangpha Merci Maku. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm again going to start with the basics. How did you decide to pursue an education in art? And again, I know that your MFA was the pivotal moment where you changed your visual vocabulary. And I'd like us to see some of the work from there while you talk about how you got into art and how you changed from an institutional practice or what is taught in art college to you deciding what your vocabulary was going to be.
Hello. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm glad that we all made it here. It has been like for the past few years, it has been a tough journey. I'm like we have been gone through so many things, from COVID to a lot of like chaos and wars and things like that. So I am born in the border of India and Myanmar. There is a village called Saibo. There I grew up and I studied there till my 12th standard, and I sort of like I am a science student, so I failed at science. And after my 12th, I did not know what to do. I failed at chemistry. I did not know what to do. There was nothing that I am good at. And like only drawing is the only thing that I was good at, and I did not even think of like applying for colleges or like further study. But I was good at cooking food as well. But so my brother was suggesting that you should go to Delhi, try both of these practice. Maybe if you get into college, you'll find some way. So I applied for fine arts first, and then I got it. That is how I never left, and I am here. And like 5 years I was in Delhi in College of Art studying mostly academic. That is how I sort of like learned a lot of new things, because uh, my practice was very self-taught before, but then when I come to college, I was sort of like uh, future in a way that this new whole idea of like shades, figuratives, and colors, landscape, portraits, also sort of like very new things comes out, and I was very good at that, and I used to sketch a lot, draw a lot. After college, I'll go to Manti house near the college, and I'll be like sitting there for 3-4 hours. Then slowly I finished my master, and I was just thinking like, what else after a bachelor? What else after that? And then my friends were like, we are going to Baroda, we are going to Baroda. I was like, let me try for Baroda as well. And I applied for it and I got it. That is the probably the beginning of my mm, evoke like conscious that evoked me of to be conscious of about my environment, about myself, uh, knowing who I am. Because even I stayed 5 years in Delhi. At that time as well, I have struggled a lot of things, because I did not really have like a close thing that I can really rely on or I could learn from, because I in a class like I am there alone, and even in a college like there are few people will be there, but I could not really relate. So this feeling of loneliness, this feeling of uh, wanting to belong is like very serious for me. So I really want to work based on that earlier, but academic was very important that I always think about when I first came, because a lot of my friends are very good in it, and I really want to be good like them as well. And like I went to Baroda, I got in, and that is the first time I was like, now I have to step like much more farther. I can't do this thing anymore. So we started the college, and a lot of like programs and workshops and things were happening. So there was an internship usually happen in college, and we were supposed to do an intern on some other art practice apart from visual art, maybe like some music, literature, or writing, making glass, or to learn architect. So I did my internship on basket making, like mainly Naga basket making, and that is how I decided that if I want to improve myself or if I want to know who I am, I need to go back knowing who I really am. That was the thing. So identity plays a huge role as well. And after that, also like there was few other thing, not just thinking about personal thing, but also trying to learn something outside from me. So there were workshops on paper making, workshops on dream making. So like almost workshops and program I always attended in college. So and after that I did thesis came, and then thesis I did a thesis on Naga art and culture. So and I did on one tribe which I belong, Kolmaring. Uh, so in there we have like different chapters like crafts, textile, architect, performance, culinaries, and literature. So I sort of like did a field work, and like through that, like slowly, I sort of like find my way, find my language, find who I am, and this is very important for me to bring up because like we all know that a person like me, not saying in a proud way, but a person like me is hard to find and hard to come by. And our voice has been always hidden and being ignored. So, like, to be here is a good thing. And for me, not someone from outside telling things about who I am, but me coming here and telling things about me is much more stronger than what I think. So, uh, so I sort of like build up language. Like I did a lot of research on like how even tribal believes in nature and how this whole visualization of like art comes to be. So like they believe in the trees, the mountains, the rivers. It sort of like plays a huge role in like abstraction, surreal, realism. These were fascinating me. So like in the work itself, it's like not just about writing a thesis about it, but also learning the way they work, the way they think, the way they visualize, sort of, and that is how the works end up to visualizing or most of my work.
So this is what I wanted to understand better is I wanted to understand the context between the Manipuri and the Naga culture in your practice in terms of identity. You use a lot of motifs and a lot of techniques.
Yeah.
And you grew up in Manipur.
Yeah.
But a lot of your work is influenced by the art and culture of Nagaland.
Yeah.
So I wanted to understand that context better.
So I mean, a lot of misconceptions comes in this when we talk about this kind of political scene, because Nagaland is Nagaland, Manipur is Manipur. A lot of like we have like around more than 20 tribes of Naga in Manipur as well, and like this is also another like tension on knowing my identity, because when people ask like, are you from Manipur? And people say you are Meitei, but I'll be like, but I'm Naga. And if I say I am Naga, people will think that, oh, you are from Nagaland, and I'll be like, no, I'm from Manipur. So a lot of like these confusions also there, and so many other things that it keeps on coming out. And can you please say it again, Gohil?
So the question was basically, is that you grew up in Manipur, but a lot of your work is influenced by the art and culture of Nagaland.
Yeah.
And I wanted to understand in terms of identity,
Mm.
in terms of the motifs and the techniques that you use, the context between these two cultures. How do you interplay between the two?
If not just Naga, like Naga is the core thing that that I love the art and things like that, but also like not just Naga, I also try to learn things from other as well, like Meitei performance arts are really good. So sometimes I also learn from them as well. Also literatures are so good. Uh, in that way, like there are like multiple other things, but Naga is like something very close. That is why most in my work, most of them are related to the practice of Naga. And like if like you can see a lot of motifs and like images in the work. There are like different types of motif, and different motifs represent different concepts and ideas. So I'll just uh, like give a small example. So there is a motif, a textile motif of an insect, which is like embroidered on a shawl. So during harvesting season, the it's called cicada. During harvesting season, the insect rang, and then that is how they know that harvesting season is coming, and it is time to celebrate harvesting festival. And that is the time they wear this shawl and celebrate harvesting festival. So different motifs have different concept and idea. Also, like the new textile which comes now, they have been always developing new textile. But the interesting part is like when I went for my thesis, there are a group of local artists who make textile, but an artist who mm, does not only make like the textile which has been existing for long back, but also create a new textile which has concepts and ideas, which was very interesting to me.
So that brings me to my next question is because you have so much symbolism in your work, how does, and you may not necessarily be there for the storytelling of it, right? Um, how do you want somebody to view your work? Are you happy for them to just take away what they understand, or do you feel a need to go deeper into the nuances of it?
For me, like as I have told you before, like how the tribes believe in nature and how they visualize through art. That is what I've been thinking about it, and I want to practice that way of seeing. And in that way, my work itself is sort of like a mix of this abstract, uh, real, and surreal. So in that there are a lot of things that goes on in both, and like they are material wise as well, they are visual wise as well. But for me, it's like that is how I see, and that is how people will see, and that if it confuse you, if you have a question, then why won't people ask? Then that becomes sort of like an interaction as well between the audience and the work, and maybe me if I'm there around the work. Otherwise, like this, uh, if you don't want to, then that's fine. I don't want to force people to, you know,
Get into it.
get into it. But if someone is interested, that's much more better than showing off everything so directly and open.
Right. Now, one of the things that you mentioned at the start is, that someone from with your background is not necessarily very present in the Indian art scene. And you are relatively at a very early point in your career, and your practice has already been highlighted quite a lot. So, what are your thoughts on the future? And we spoke about this in the context of romanticizing a practice and, not seeing it for what it is.
I mean, I'm very glad that I am here as well, and I'm very glad for everyone who is coming here and the art here and the Natasha, my friends. uh, in a way that I I sometimes think that why am I here? Is it because this whole scene of uh, people coming from the Northeast is that trending thing, or is it because I am good in my work? So this is the thing that confused me, that I have been thinking about. But and for the future, like I know that I'll do good, and that goodness should come from not just me, should also come from everyone, all of you, to support me, to be there for me, because like I don't want to just talk about like searching for someone for money to support me or like to be with me. Like we are all the same, and then that is how I will do better and then evolve uh, through community, through being with everyone.
On the conversation of evolution, we've spoken about the feeling of othering and how that informed your practice, making you seek things that were familiar and feel like home. But you have also spoken about evolution, right, and change. And this is particularly obvious also in the work that you are showing at the art fair.
Yeah, yeah.
So I want you to tell us a little bit about the story of this work, how it's evolved, and draw a parallel in your own lived experience. And this is when we share the work as well.
We can go back to the next image. Yeah. No, next front.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
One back.
One back. Back,
Yeah.
yeah. So, so during my thesis, I went back home, and then on my chapter on architect, I found this structure, which is called Karab, which is placed in the center of a kitchen, and they put below the structure, and then everything which is kept above preserves it from moisture, preserve it from mold, preserve it from fungus. So this the concept of this work fascinated me, and I thought like after coming back, I thought I want to work with this structure because my practice, my journey, my experimentations, my whole ideas and concepts is important, very important to be preserved and to be shown, to be voiced. That is why I choose this sculpture. And then this sculpture has been in a process for the past 3 years. It has been almost 3 years now, and and it has shown into three plays. This is the third time, and it has keep evolving, and that comes very naturally, not me having an idea or like putting up a first image and then oh I want to build something like it, but it comes very naturally, and from the beginning to the end, it has different way of expression, different identity, different way of seeing, and it sort of like reflect my times and space that I have been through, that I have been practicing. So the work itself sort of like becomes me. And like for the third time I'm putting up here is based on yeah, we can talk here. So so I was a part with coach student Dinale as well. And during the after the Biennale, I got for the Venice Biennale art the three thing. And I thought I have to go back home and then make my passport and visa and things like that. I went back, and during that time, sadly, the riots start. And for 3 years, I was stuck there. And after coming back, I feel very guilty and I feel very sad that I left my parents, my family, my friends, and everyone back at home. And I usually have to call my friends and like everyone from back home every day. And that phone conversation is audio recorded, and I sort of like play that audio in a dark room, and I create a visual out of it, and then that is the end. If you go to the my booth, you see those paper cuts and black drawing. Those are the end work of the performance. So the performance, the audio have three audio. The first audio we talk about the history of Manipur, the trauma, the war, all the things that people have faced, and this has been not been talked about by the people that much, because starting like even before there has been always a war and things like that, but during the World War II, like how Japanese people come, Japanese army comes to India, and then they have to cross from Southeast Asia to come in. They have to cross my state, and there has been a lot of killing. There has been a lot of like struggle people had to face during that time. Or not just that, like when the British comes, when the American comes as well. So like there were stories, there were like narrative, friends and family talks about it. So that is one audio, and the second audio is about a boy from Myanmar, my father's friend, his son. Uh, because of the unrest happening in Myanmar, he sent his boy. He's like 12 years old. He came to my village in the border. He lives there. So the second audio about is about him, how he misses home, how he wants to go back to Myanmar, how he wants to meet, and then stories of him learning new things, learning English, coming like being in the border. He started going to school, those government school and things like that. And the third audio is about a neighbor who was in Imphal during the riots, and he was also like in the phone where he was talking about his whole journey of running away from the capital for 4 days, and then how he ended up coming to his real home, to his family. And the fourth one is like very new one, the now that Manipur has been struggling, and it is so in that also there were different narratives and stories, like news, how we listen to news. It's much more like that. Like I'll call my mother what's going on, and then they will say, oh, there were few bomb firing happening nearby the village, like this kind of story, or people being killed. So most of them are about like very scary, brutal kind of inhuman things. Uh, narrative stories were. So mm, I don't force myself to be political, but like it comes by itself.
Right. So I would also ask all of you to visit Mercy's booth in the same space where Mayuri's is. They're next to each other. And the artists will be there after this talk, so you can also interact with them. And I am now going to move on to our third artist in residence, Siddharth Gohil, also known as Khatra. Right now, what's interesting about your practice is while I'll start again at the beginning. I'd like to know your trajectory into street art. How did you get into that as a medium of choice? And why the name Khatra as your signature? And at this time, I'm going to also ask that we go through a little bit of your work.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining here, and I'm really glad to be a part of this residency and this wonderful panel. Um, so yeah, my journey began as an street artist from the college. Uh, in 2011, I was in first year of my graduation, my bachelor's. So I watched this movie called Exit Through the Gift Shop from the very known artist Banksy. I was really moved by that movie, and so how these street artists and graffiti writers go out in the street and put their views and thoughts on the street, uh, which is based on like surrounding and current political issues and the problems that we face as as a society and as an individual as well. And yeah, and at the same time, in India, I saw the works of this underground artist called Daku. I mean, he works with the stencil and also with the shadow play. That was also very inspiring for me. And like in my college, I and like some of my friends, we got an opportunity to join this festival called Street Art Festival, and it was their first edition in India. Like they are Indian foundation only, but they uh, held this festival in Delhi. That time we came as a volunteer, and I witnessed like huge murals by this amazing artist, international and Indian as well. From yeah that time I started and was really inspired from all of these artists, and like started my journey from the as a volunteer. Then after my college, I started painting outdoors, and yeah, did all the murals after that.
Started from there.
Yeah, yeah.
And the name Khatra?
So yeah, Khatra name has a, I mean, a very short story. I didn't really name myself. So yeah, when I attended this festival first, and after coming back to the college and the city Baroda, I thought like I should be also doing something which is bothering me around me as an individual and as a whole society as well. I started to like make a stencil which is inspired from symbol which we found on the streets, which says Khatra, like danger, and it's on basically on the electrical poles if we see. So yeah, I took that symbol and like integrate that with other forms that represent the danger to the society and to the individual, uh, with like political issues and the problems that we're facing. So yeah, I did like some walks on the street on that on that name, not the name, but like with that sign. So that's how like my friends and all started calling me Khatra. Yeah, that's the story.
Okay. So both Mayuri and Mercy have practices that are, based on identity and gender in a very personal space.
Yeah.
But you, on the other hand, work in the public realm. So how do you bring the personal into something that, first of all, is ephemeral, it disappears, and also in parts is located in a community-based situation? How do you bring the personal into something that is so public?
So yeah, coming on the personal basis is kind of a long journey for me, because when I started my journey as a street artist, you always get a spot or the canvas which are like in different cities and in different places. And yeah, different cities and different places has like different stories, so you don't get to paint or execute as a body of work, I guess, but you have to like, tell the stories which are more based on that place or the community that lives in that place, and also about the place that I'm painting. So yeah, after over the years, like of my career in 8 years, I have also thought about it and like tried to my personal views and practice that I can like work also in the studio. That's how.
Um, so I know that your style has evolved, and that's part of what we see at the India Art Fair as well, right? Um, is this part of it?
No,
Or
I mean
did you
this
go back?
works. This yeah.
This is the era series we
Yeah.
have come to.
So yeah.
Could we go back to the this is the part which you see also over here. It's from this
Yeah.
style of work, right? So how has this style come about? And tell us a little bit about the work that you've done over here.
Can we move to another slide, which is like for the school that I did ABC?
No. You have to go back. You're going forward.
I guess it's in forward, I guess, for the mural.
Let me go forward to show the murals. Forward.
Yes. Oh. Yeah. So the work that I did here is part of part of a process that I did for this school. So this work I did in Jeyasingh last year in 2023. I was called by starting a foundation as an artist to paint at this school, which is called Rajkumari Ratnavati School. This school is in Jaisalmer. It's like in the middle of the desert, where these girls. It's a girls' school, so these girls are. Uh, very fortunate to have that kind of a structure there, and I mean, the ratio of like literacy over there of the female is very low. So this school really helped them to like get an education and be uh, a part of the global.
Right. I know the school was set up specifically
Yeah.
focusing on girls from different backgrounds to give them access to education. So what was the work that you did over here?
So yeah, I got to paint the classroom, which is of first standard, and sorry, can we move back? Yeah. So yeah, this classroom is for the first standard, and I tried to like play with the letter forms, which are like just like how kids start learning the language and the script, right? Like from the A B C D. So this is what it shows. It like pronounce A B C D E F like in a Hindi. It's written in the Hindi script, but like from the angles you can also see the English alphabets. So yeah, it's sort of like combination of both the script, like how being regional, but still you are exploring the global aspect of the education, and that's what like these girls are getting from that school. So that's what I tried to
And how
paint
does
through
that
this mural.
translate to what is over here?
So yeah, So the same techniques and same form of this 3D lettering I tried to create over here in this residency work that I did for the India Art Fair, like on the carpet. I choose a very common form, which is very cubical, like we see on the carpet, on the flooring of flooring in any place, which is very common. But that I tried to like convert with my typographical style and tried to celebrate like 15 years of completion of India Art Fair. And also the colors that I used in that work is uh, derived from the street graphics of India. It's very vibrant, like the colors we see on the trucks, on the taxi, on the signs and graphics.
So, one of the cliche questions that I'm sure every street artist gets asked is street art often faces criticism and
Yep, absolutely.
censorship, right? And I'd like to talk about this with reference to your project Errors, um, and why you chose not to be anonymous, even though you do talk about political things.
So yeah, Error is a series that I started in 2017. Can we move to the?
Now you have to go back.
Sorry.
This is the Error series, right?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, you can stop here. So yeah, this Error series I started when I got a chance to work with Star India Foundation in 2017. It was their Goa edition, and also it was in a collaboration with the Serendipity Art Festival. So there we did a poster project which is called A4 Art Project. So this project was whole about vandalizing the A4 size papers that we A4 size advertisement and the poster we see on the streets, which are of like PGs for girls, boys, like a political advertisement or just a simple ad, and that creates like a visual noise to the city and to the surroundings, right? Which is not uh, art or like interesting visual, I would say. So to vandalize that practice, I did this A4R project, uh, which is a very personal experience for me that I shared. Like I use this word "hey." So whenever like any individual or a stranger messages on social media to any stranger, so they start with like words "hey." That's how this city was for me, Goa. I was a stranger to it, and to connect with the like common audience and the public on the street, I like chose this word "hey" and formed in a digital glitch way. So I pasted these multiple posters on the street of Goa. Yeah, so this is what it was project, and from there I started exploring this glitch form into my work. So
But I remember you also telling me about the first time that you did this work. It was a political thing where the work was ripped off even before you, a few hours after you had put it up.
yeah, so that was after this, like during this CAA protest.
So yeah, during the CA, we have the images here.
I guess we are. Yeah.
Go forward. No, go forward. Sorry, there's a little confusion with the slides. No, I don't think we have that picture.
Oh, I guess we
Okay.
haven't.
So coming back to that, why did you not choose anonymity? Why? Because if somebody types Khatra today, we know that it is you. And when you are doing work that is sensitive, like what you did during the CA protests, why not choose anonymity?
Uh, I've seen graffiti artists and street artists like often like to be anonymous, and I guess that's a privilege to be anonymous and not to be transparent to yourself with your practice. Uh, in the beginning, I also wanted to like be anonymous and do the stuff that I wanted to do, but then I realized no, I should be transparent and be honest and be shown as an individual as well, like what I'm expressing and what is my thoughts uh, of the glitches that I found in the physical world and our surrounding and current scenario. So, so that's the like thinking process of me to be not to be anonymous as a street artist.
Right. So this is your work at the India Art Fair where you
Yeah.
can see the words, the alphabets. So I'm just going to end with a final question. You know, we often think of street art as large murals. What are your thoughts of bringing street art into a gallery space? We see some of the younger galleries like XXL and Method doing this with a certain amount of success. What are your thoughts on this, or to frame it differently, as an artist making work that doesn't necessarily fit into a gallery program, how do you navigate your career as an artist? Do you bring this into a gallery space? How do you navigate that?
I mean, for me, it was a long process to step into the gallery because generally street art isn't considered as a fine art. And yeah, XXL and Method are doing really good for this kind of art form because they have made like art community to be able to engage with this kind of artist who works in public spaces and creating the works in unique style in unique mediums. For me, I started as a like muralist, and then while working over the years, I'm really like inspired by the things that I found on the street. Like for example, if I talk about reflectives that we found that we find on the uh, like traffic signs on the taxis on the trucks like in Indian streets, and bringing that material and that aesthetics into my work, then like breaking the whole traditional uh, like process and its form, and trying to express my practice from that material is really helped me to like show my works in this kind of galleries.
Right. So I think we have just about 5 minutes to ask any questions if there are. Otherwise, the artists are going to be here, so you can interact with them. Both Mercy and Mayuri are in the project space, and Khatra's work is outside on the walkway. So please feel free to speak with them. And if you have any questions right now.
Hi. Hello. Can we? Yeah. So sorry. Mine is more of a comment, and it could be responded by the residents. I think so. It's a very interesting group of residents at the India Art Fair because all three of them are speaking to power, and I think so. I was very moved by Mercy's kind of articulation of speaking to power because I saw a few talks over the last 3 days. They were talking about change, they were talking about accessibility, they were talking about many things that museums will never do, even if they come and sing as eloquently as Lata Mangeshkar. They're never going to change, or it's never going to be inclusive, or it's never going to be accessible. And I think so Mercy's kind of point where he speaks about the fact that he should not only find support amongst Manipuris or Nagas or his tribe, but a larger audience. And I really feel it's interesting how, I don't know if it was planned in a way to bring these three people along, but it's really interesting how their practices correlate to each other. And they actually come from a kind of very marginal space to what we imagine India as, because you also see the audience out here. There's no one here in the audience except for young people, while everyone here was there just an hour back because there was some white German curator like going to somehow accentuate their career, because Klaus, he's not going to even remember any of those people in the audience, he sees so many people. And so I'm really happy listening to all three of you all, and actually I really changed my perspective around street art and its kind of political relevance, because a lot of street art is kind of mere decoration today. And so that became kind of very interesting for me. And I really think what Mercy talked is kind of very, very relevant right now, especially in a time where these voices are going to be, and especially in Manipur, where these voices are being completely extinguished.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you all for being here, and thank you for chatting with me. And I'm really excited to see where all of your careers are headed in the next few years.
Thank you so much. Thank you.